Welcome back to the SoftGuard 101 training course. In this second part, we're going to delve into some essential topics, including the creation of admin users, operator users, and user profiles. Let's dive right in. Within the administrator module, you'll have access to the main system configurations. Here, you can efficiently manage user registration, deletion, and configuration for everyone interacting with the platform. You can set precise permissions and restrictions and enable or disable specific modules. When it comes to user administration, you'll discover 3 different categories. Central user, these are reserved for the alarm receiving center's administrators, supervisors, and operators. Dealer users, designed for technicians, installers, or other organizations connected to your platform. End users, designed for the end customers of the monitoring center. Today, our focus will be on creating 2 central users, the administrator and the operator. To begin, click the Create User button. User creation involves 2 stages, user details and module assignment. Let's now proceed to fill each of these fields. Username for accessing the platform. It must be in email format. Password. You can change it by clicking the Change Password button. It must meet the displayed requirements. First and last name of the user. Organization. The company the user works for. This is a mandatory requirement. If there are no organizations set up, go to the Organizations tab in the top bar. Province/state. Select the region to which the user belongs. You can type directly in the field or choose from the drop-down menu if you've already created the list of available states. Language. Set the user's preferred language, which the system will use by default upon login. User type. For an admin user, select the central category. IP control. Indicate whether the user will have an enabled IP range. This range prevents the user from logging in from outside of the internal network of the monitoring center. To add an IP range, access the System menu, go to Configuration, IP Ranges, and fill in the required fields. Once you've filled in all the necessary information, click Save, and the module selection area will become active. Since we're creating an admin user, we need to add the administrator module. Expand the menu, choose the administrator module, and click the Add Module button. And that's it. You've completed the creation of an admin user with unrestricted access to all modules. Continuing with the creation of a monitoring operator user, we will essentially repeat the steps we discussed earlier. Click the Create User button and enter the user, password, first and last name, organization, state, language, and type. In this case, the user will also be placed in the central category since they are an operator belonging to the alarm monitoring center. Once you've completed these fields, click Save. The module selection area will be enabled. Before proceeding, it's necessary to determine the tasks that the monitoring operator will perform. Typically, a monitoring operator may have the Account Administrator module enabled for modifying client information and the Web Monitoring module for handling alarm events. Select the Web Monitoring and Administrator modules. You may notice that the Account Administrator module is not listed as a separate module. This is because it's a restriction applied to the Administrator module itself. Double-click on the Administrator module. In the Security tab, you will find the Account Administrator Only checkbox. Select it to apply this restriction. 2 new tabs will be enabled for configuring accounts, Process and Account. Within the Process tab, you can enable or disable the visibility of all processes recorded during the handling of an alarm, such as calls or notifications. You can apply an individual profile to hide or display each process, or select all and apply a general profile. Within the Account tab, you can enable or disable the user's ability to view or modify information entered in an account, such as users, contacts, or panel zones. Denied, the user cannot view the information. Read, the user can only view the information. Read and write, the user can view and modify the records. Unrestricted, This adds additional functions, such as selecting the SMS modem for sending text messages in the account's automatic notifications configuration. Within the Account tab, you will also find special permissions, including the ability to change an account number, create a new account, or copy account information from an existing one to a new one. The Request Removal feature allows the user to change the account status to deactivated. An account can only be deleted by an administrator. Real-time Events allows the user to view the multi-monitor module within the Account Administrator module. View Keys allows the user to see keywords associated with the account, used for verifying the end user's identity. Change Dealer allows operators to transfer an account from one dealer to another. Georeferences allows operators to view a list of accounts without coordinates, facilitating their geolocation. Enable or disable the export option for account list, account info, and dealer list. Finally, click Save. Now, let's proceed to configure the web monitoring module. Double-click on the module or click Modify. In the Security tab, select a monitoring operator from the drop-down menu to link to this user. If there isn't a monitoring operator in the list, or if you want to create a new one, go to System, Configuration, and look for the Operators table under the System Configuration category. An operator is created to log records in the database. It's recommended to associate each user with an operator to enhance traceability during alarm event management. The Events Collaboration checkbox allows the same event to be opened by two operators, the first as the primary operator and the second as a collaborator. The collaborator can record call details, comments, and dispatches, but the event's closure remains the responsibility of the primary operator. The operation mode can be either automatic, where the system instantly opens events as they enter the system in order of priority, or manual, where the operator selects which event to manage first based on their discretion. The View Keys option indicates whether keywords associated with the account should be displayed. The Sound checkbox indicates whether the sound warning button will be activated when web monitoring starts. Now, within the Filter Settings tab, you can configure which events will be. In general, we recommend that operators see all events, but if needed, filters can be applied based on priority, source, alarm code condition, or alarm groups. The Sort by Priority option arranges pending events by their priority level. SoftGuard uses priorities from 1 to 9, with 1 being the most critical and 9 the least critical. The Date option lets you define whether new events should appear at the beginning or end of the list. View Events by Range allows filtering the events that each operator can view by assigning a specific range of accounts. To access this feature, you need to have the Web Dealer module for wholesale monitoring. The Operator Control option is employed to monitor the operator's absence or inactivity by generating random alerts that require the operator's response to confirm their presence. You can define the start and end times for this presence control. If the operator doesn't respond to this alert within the specified time, an automatic email notification is sent to the supervisor. The recipient can be configured in the platform's parameters. Automatic dialing allows setting the dialing protocols that the operator will use to communicate through conventional or IP calls. These protocols can be configured from the SIP protocol tag parameter. Record incoming calls specifies whether the operator can record calls. Note that this feature requires the logger module within your license. The Event Generator allows configuring whether the operator can generate manual events for training and, if so, whether they can change the geolocation of these events. You can also specify whether the monitoring operator will have access to the Process All or Massive Process button, allowing the simultaneous processing of pending events corresponding to the same account. The Supervisor option allows operators to escalate events to a supervisor or become one themselves. Finally, click Save. Additionally, if you have the Web Dealer module for wholesale monitoring, you can define an account range for the operator to access only the data and events within that range. You can add an account range for each dealer, either consecutively, for example, accounts 1 to 9,999, or individually by entering the same number in both fields. The User Profiles feature is based on Active Directory. It establishes a set of attributes within a user's profile through which permissions and restrictions are defined for various modules. Users on the Desktop Security Suite platform can be linked to these profiles, inheriting the configurations within them. To create a new profile, follow these steps. Open the System menu and select User Profiles. Click the New Profile button. Provide a description for the new profile, such as Operator. Choose the language for this profile. Use IP control to specify whether users associated with this profile will have an IP range enabled or not. From the drop-down menu, select each module you want to assign and configure permissions and restrictions according to your needs. The benefits of creating user profiles include automation. Streamline user configurations for individuals in the same category, like operators or administrators, without the need for repetitive setup. Simultaneous updates. Make simultaneous changes to multiple users by adjusting the attributes within the profile. This ensures efficient updates across the board. Once you've created a user profile, you can associate it when creating or modifying a user. This links the attributes of the profile to the user's settings. When associated with a profile, it's no longer possible to configure modules, permissions, and restrictions independently. Remember that modifying a profile will affect all users associated with it. Lastly, you can also create new users based on the permissions of another user on your platform. To do this, select the copy icon and complete the required data. Unlike profiles, in this case, you can configure modules, permissions, and restrictions independently. The best is yet to come, so stick around.